continues from the Cap City, Columbus, Ohio. And we welcome you from the Nationwide Arena. It is NCAA tournament time. We hit the evening session, and what a matchup we have to get it started. The 9 seed, the Washington Huskies out of the Pac-12, and the 8 seed, the Utah State University Aggies out of the Mountain West. The winner of this game will match up against the winner of the top seed, North Carolina versus Iona. We are in the Midwest region now, Sweet 16 in Kansas City. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson, along with the great Chris Webber. We'll hear from Allie LaForce in just a moment. And, Chris, when we look at these two teams, this has all the makings of a great game because these two teams probably look like they're looking in the mirror. They cleaned up in the postseason awards this year.
Definitely. When you have Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year, you know it's going to be battle with teams. Both teams have a lot of pride, but defense are both of these teams calling cards.
Thibault, the Defensive Player of the Year. Jalen Noel for Washington, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Merrill won that award in the Mountain West. And Namish Keita was the Defensive Player of the Year, who's about ready to jump center with Amir Wright. And we are ready to go here from Columbus, Ohio. Game 3 of our day of 4 on this Friday at the NCAA tournament. Utah State out of Logan, Utah, conference tournament champs, took down San Diego State in Las Vegas last week, and the first bucket of the game is Namish Keita, their big man.
I love how he took his time, even though he kind of lost the handle there. Took his time, gathered his feet, and went up, knocked down a nice jump hook.
Pac-12 just had a big win. Oregon took down Wisconsin, and now Washington trying to hold serve. That is blocked from behind. And in transition, oh, Keita, he didn't go for the dunk, tried to lay it off the glass and misses a point-blank layup. And that's a travel. Matisse Thybulle turns it over for Washington. That'll be Utah State.
And B.A., very seldomly do you see something you haven't seen before. I'm telling you right now, these guys are rocking. And how about State's bench rocking before the tip ball? You got to love it. Everybody's ready.
Should be a great matchup. 21st NCAA tournament appearance for Utah State. They're on a 10-game winning streak. Utah State has not made the NCAA tournament in 8 years. That was when they were a member of the WAC. It's the first time they've made it since they've been a member of the Mountain West, which they arrived in 2013. And a turnover for Noah Dickerson is going to give the ball back to Utah State. Mike Hopkins, Coach of the Year in the Pac-12. 22 years as an assistant under Jim Boeheim, and he has brought that Syracuse zone to Washington. Craig Smith, also the Coach of the Year in his conference in his first year. You got a couple of coaches that are just getting their career started. As Brock Miller lands the first bomb of the day for Utah State.
Miller's jumper is as smooth as his headband right now. You know that he can spread the floor. And for Washington State, turnovers can be their problem. Scoring is definitely a problem for them. They're going to have to be patient because when they get behind, their defense maybe can keep them in it, but their scoring can't take them over the top.
David Crisp off the bounce knocks a 3 down for an answer. Outstanding senior point guard, David Crisp. He's a left-hander. Gives him about 12.5 a game. He shoots 5.5 threes per game and makes him at a 37% clip. Knock it down, Quinn Taylor, one of the oldest players competing in this tournament after a couple of years on a mission, on a Mormon mission, at 25 years of age.
You're going to see that playmaking from Merrill all night. Yeah, that goes in the stat sheet, but maybe you didn't notice it as a fan out there. Merrill already finding his guys to keep him involved.
Noel so good at drawing contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. What a season he has had. Player of the Year in the Pac-12, and Crisp able to knock down the answer 3.
Chris says, what offensive problems? We can score with the best of them, especially when our season starts over today.
2 free throws for Jalen Noel, sophomore from Seattle, that basketball-rich Seattle, Washington area. He has held the line, winning that Player of the Year award. Hey, introducing delicious Orange Vanilla Coke and Orange Vanilla Coke Zero Sugar. Yeah, you heard that right. Noel, 16+ per game, dishes out 3 assists. Gets over 5 rebounds a game as well. He is a deadly three-point shooter. 7-5 start. Utah State, the Aggies in the whites as the 8th seed. And a turnover. Here comes Crisp in transition. Noel always looking to attack.
Chris calling for the ball. He really wanted it earlier. He wants to attack.
And he goes. Can't finish. Rebound ripped down by Demish Queta. Merrill. And had it swatted. There's Thybulle. You're going to see today in Matisse Thybulle one of the great defensive players in all of basketball at the collegiate level.
And how about one of the greatest defensive players maybe of all time in his conference? And yes, they've had some great ones. When you think about the players in their conference, when you think about the Gary Payton's another, but that's the type of impact he's made on the defensive end.
He passed Gary Payton, talking about senior, for the all-time steals leader in Pac-12 history. He also broke Jason Kidd's single-season steals record. He had 117 steals this year, and he plays right in the middle of that Mike Hopkins zone. And there's a foul. Looks like they're going to get Noel on the push as Merrill was going to the hole. Craig Smith, year #1 at Utah State. He is out of the Tim Miles coaching tree. Miles, the head man at Nebraska, longtime assistant under Miles. Formerly the head coach in South Dakota for 4 years before taking over in Logan. And a foul on Brock Miller will send him to the line. These two coaches, they're interesting, and we mentioned how they mirror each other as far as the awards they've won. Mike Hopkins just getting on the job. This is his 2nd year, 49 years of age, back-to-back winner of the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And of course, Smith winning that honor as well. First round coverage continues. NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship on ESPN and the ESPN app. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. 2 free throws for Brock Miller.
Washington right now must still take their time. Look inside. They had a couple of duck-ins and post-ups, but Chris, he wants the ball coming off that pick and roll.
Noah Dickerson draws the double team. Noel probing. Noel pass. Here's Chris. And Merrill pulls down the rebound. Keep him at 1 and done. This Utah State team was picked 9th in their conference in the preseason predictions. 9th. And here they are as the conference champions at an 8th seed in a 28-win season. They went 15-3 in the Mountain West this year. Good hit for Quinn Taylor, senior from Houston, Texas. Taylor with 2 buckets. He's got 4 points. Three-pointers up and in. Amir Wright on the dish from Noel. Noel's playmaking ability could be big for Washington, as good as they are defensively.
And that's the penetration they're going to need. Washington has a tough time scoring, so it's going to have to come off of assisted buckets. They don't have guys that can go get it themselves besides Chris.
On the take, that was blocked. That was Thybulle, and that's an offensive foul. Brock Miller with the charge. Thybulle got the block. His dad's loving it, by the way. We got a microphone on him. Hoping to hear from him later.
Welcome back to Columbus, where Washington and Utah State are underway, our 3rd game of a 4-game day here in Ohio. Now, you wouldn't know by watching Utah State this season, but last season they only won 2 games on the road. So Coach Smith had an idea. He got Road Warrior t-shirts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. The coaches, the players, they all wear these on every single day leading up to weeks where they have road games. We're talking about Hawk and Animal. Chris Webber, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, Hawk and Animal, the WWF, not the WWE, but they might have been my favorite along with the British Bulldogs, but don't get me going back into my wrestling days, B.A.
Oh, man, that's a big part of the Craig Smith story. They've got the belt. They had a belt made up. And they got all the props. Utah State. It's been quite a story. What a turnaround in a program. Here's Thybulle now. He'll step back for a 3. Comes up short. Offensive rebound. That is Nasiah Carter getting the first rebound of the day and getting it set up for Chris. So that offensive board turning into points. Utah State by a point. Couple of offensive boards for the Huskies of Washington. Washington lost to Oregon in the Pac-12 tournament championship game. That was a week ago Saturday. It was a bad loss too, 68-48. I think Mike Hopkins is hoping a loss like that's going to get them a little bit turned around.
Ooh, look at that hand right there. So tough to see. You got so much to watch right there. The hand goes out of bounds, and you're just fortunate right there.
Crisp has a quick 5 on the take, and that's an offensive foul. Sam Merrill charging into Noah Dickerson, and Utah State will turn it over again.
It's the great thing about basketball. Noah Dickerson, many people may not know the name, but at the end of this game you will. Why? Because he does all the dirty work inside. Yeah, he can score and he can block some shots, but how about that? Taking the charge as a big fella, that's what you gotta love.
Big man is from Atlanta, found a home in Seattle with the Huskies. Here's Thibault now. Thibault on the take. He's quick. That was off his leg, and that's going the other way. That'll be Utah State ball. So a little shaky with the ball here for both teams early.
Yeah, give Brown some credit. Moving laterally. Thibault not easy to stay with. He has great game. He's efficient, but he can also give you some herky-jerky, and you have to stay disciplined on the defensive end.
And it's poked away from behind. That was Dickerson. Forced that turnover, and now good pass, Noel. Queta guards him, but Dickerson scores it. Queta ran the floor well, but Dickerson was patient.
The undersized Dickerson, he really has to muster all his strength and his IQ tonight to try to make sure he can play the best game possible. Undersized and size.
7-0 run for the Huskies. Queta gives it up. Ball's moving well, and Abel Porter is just hammered as Thibault denies. I tell you, his reach and his quickness
and his stick-to-itiveness. I mean, if you pass Jason Kidd for steals, and I know maybe a lot of fans weren't around when Jason Kidd was doing his thing at Cal, or the great Gary Payton Sr., you have to want to be a great defender. Thibault, you can tell he wants it on both ends.
First player in D1 history with 110 or more steals, 50 or more blocks. Just comes up with a block there. Now a strip. I think Dominic Green got a hand on that in transition. Crisp. And he'll back it out, get it organized with Thibault. Looking for the big man. They attack Queta, and the reverse is good.
How about using that rim? You can use the rim to block off a shot blocker. I love what Dickerson did on that play right there.
9-0 run for the Huskies. They lead by 3. And it blocked. Another block. 2 blocks in that sequence. And a third chance, and hitting the deck is Noah Dickerson. Boy, the stifling defense of the Huskies.
Look at the up and under by the smaller Dickerson inside. And you want to know how Pops feel? You want to know why this is a family affair? That's right. He said, I raised that kid. He ate all my food growing up. He better play well tonight.
His dad, Greg, he's from Haiti. His son, Matisse, one of the great stories in college basketball. He lost his mother a couple of years ago. Heartwarming story, inspirational story as this program and this community embraced him this year. Boy, the numbers back up his success for the Huskies, and one of the main reasons they are in this NCAA tournament. Justin Bean on the floor for the first time. He joins Diogo Brito. Bench players getting some run here for Utah State. Now Thibault spins. Thibault comes up short. Free-flowing Utah State offense. Aren't a lot of sets in place for Craig Smith. He wants his players to react and play off the defense, which is going to be a challenge here today against Washington. Diogo Brito, no, and the follow by Justin Bean is good.
Again, that's the one thing that the zone allows that you saw Washington playing is rebounding. You can't see behind you, so you're going to have to communicate and fill and kind of box out space, waiting for a man to come to you. Good job that time. The Aggies getting the extra possession.
Chris with Brito on him. Runs into some traffic, Thibault, and he whips one into the Utah bench, and it's another turnover. Playing fast, but turnovers starting to dog this game a little bit. There's been 10 total. 14-13, Huskies. Time now for the Buick Tournament summary. The Big Ten Conference started 6-0. Oregon just took down Wisconsin for the first loss in the Big Ten. How about UC Irvine? A win over Kansas State, an Elite Eight team last year. First NCAA tournament win in program history for UC Irvine. And the favorites held serve yesterday, winning 12 of the 16. Different story here today. Matisse Thybulle on the bench. Gets his first rest. Utah State with the ball. And the Aggies down a point. Diogo Brito lost the handle. And coming out of the pack is Noel. 5 turnovers now for Utah State. That's their 5th in the last 5 minutes. Back tap, scrum for it. Here's Bean. He's got Miller on the wing, gives it up. And Miller in traffic, can't get it to go. Bean will get the offensive board in the putback.
Yeah, Bean takes that and says, I should have shot the first one. Gets the offensive rebound off of that pass. Nice finish inside. Now, Noel, he's had 10 games of 20 or more points, so you know as the Pac-10, you know as the player of the year that he can kind of get his shot anytime he wants to. Right now, it seems like he's trying to get other guys involved and wait to get his.
Just about to get underway on CBS. The top seed, Duke, and North Dakota State. That's right now on CBS. Crisp. Shot clock down to 1. It's an air ball, and it's a shot clock violation.
Good block inside. We've seen this earlier in one of our earlier games. The big fella tries to cock the ball back too far, and you give the smaller guard a lane to come kind of get a low block from behind as opposed to keeping it up and just flushing it.
Sam Timmons, the junior from New Zealand, with spot minutes, and here's Bean once again. So Utah State up 3 now, and coming off the bench is Bean with 4 points.
Washington tries to execute and be impatient, but also through cuts. When they get in trouble, they go to the pick and roll, but not that good of scoring, more off of set shots.
Josiah Carter unable to hit. Offensive board ripped down by Dickerson. Ball on the floor, and Carter comes away with 2 more for the Huskies. His first basket of the game, Josiah Carter, the sophomore from Rochester, New York. He was planning on going to Syracuse with Mike Hopkins. Changed course when Hopkins ended up with the Washington Huskies all the way across country.
Watch Bean in that middle area. He's getting open and getting the looks. He gets another one right there. Kind of playing zone himself in an offense, floating from side to side, looking for the space to cut in between, get the ball, and either facilitate or score.
Noah Dickerson spinning out of the double team. Hits the deck. Carter. Now Crisp. Long 3 and the southpaw. No. Offensive board. Dickerson with a putback.
Big fella inside, controlling the boards, using his balance inside more so than his height to make sure that that leverage helps him box out and get some rebounds.
7.5 rebounds a game this year for Dickerson. He's got 4 tonight. 3 of those are offensive boards. And Bean turns it over, threw it right into the hands of Crisp. Carter on the drive. Carter hangs, no. And there's Noel. It's another offensive rebound for Washington. And Noel scores it. His second made field goal. And it's a 3-point Washington lead. Huskies with 6 points off turnovers. Utah State's given 8 of them. Miller can't counter it. Another rebound, number 5 for Noah Dickerson.
The Aggies get to the board. You're giving up 6 offensive rebounds. Noel right there, attacking in the mid-range. He says, I can get 20 anytime I want. I need to get that to get my team out.
How does the camera find you?
Where? Where's the camera?
The camera.
Ah! It's right there behind me. So you didn't see the foul, but you saw the turnover. Okay, I'm with you. 3, baby. Woo! Oh! 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 Woo!
I think we found the right guy to put a microphone on, right? Matisse Thybulle's father, Greg. Wow.
That's where he gets that defensive passion on the floor. We see it from his father in the stand.
Noel at the free throw line for 2. Yeah. I mean, a free throw with 7:41 remaining in the first half.
He's
ready.
ready.
Worthy of a standing ovation. Let's go to Allie LaForce for more on the Thybulle family.
Well, when Thybulle was on the bench, Coach Hopkins came over and he said, "You were as disruptive as can be. Give me some." That's what I'm talking about. Gave him a high five, but I don't know who's more disruptive, his dad and the way he's leading those fans, or Thybulle when he's out there on the court. But he also looked at Dickerson and said, when you're dominating the glass like you have been and Thybulle's disrupting from the top of our defense, we are hard to beat.
No question. And just keep an eye on him here at the top of this zone. He's right in the middle, right at the top. He picks and chooses his times, but he can really be disruptive. There's Queta. Neemias Queta with a good answer. Utah State's going to need more of the big man.
Yeah, and we've already seen him hit a jump hook with his right and his left hand. So adept inside, being patient, getting the shot he wants.
He might be the main reason Utah State is in this position. Noel hits a 3 and feeling it a little bit.
How about Thybulle passing up the open look? This is when trust, you can really see it. It's tangible because Thybulle had a wide open shot. You know he can knock it down, gets it to his teammate.
Noel with a quick 9. Diogo Brito, and that was in. Queta was close to a basket interference. But the 2 guys from Portugal who play their college basketball at Utah State. Neemias Queta and Diogo Brito.
Dickerson and Queta going at it inside after that double high screen and roll, looking for the post up for Dickerson.
Dickerson going strong, fouled by Brito. He got him across the arm. Utah State jumped out to an 11-5 lead. Then Washington went on a 9-0 run.
Just takes his time. The nice left hand off the glass. Really can catch the ball. Queta can, and really has some good feet. Planting, going up after that jump stop.
Feel pretty confident saying he is the most improved player in college basketball. As Dickerson hits the first. A reminder that you can watch every game live on your phone, tablet, computer, your favorite streaming device with March Madness Live. You can watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. It is a must to have that app ready to go as we're rolling into the evening session, and pretty soon there'll be 4 games going on across the networks of TBS, TNT, CBS, and True TV. Wise man once told me basketball is a game of runs. And there has been plenty in this one. Washington currently on a 13-4 run against Utah State. Abel Porter draws the foul.
So impressive, those offensive runs by Washington that can have trouble scoring at times.
Now Washington in that compressed defense takes a while to find your bearings as Porter knocks down the first free throw. Steve Buscemi is God. Daniel Radcliffe is an angel. Watch the finale of Miracle Workers Tuesday 10:30 p.m. on TBS. And 1 out of 2 for Abel Porter.
Dickerson looks like he's getting a little tired, and that just may be body language. Can't really speak for him, but while he's in the game, you need to continue to go to him, whether the high pick and roll or get the ball to him in the post. He's going to work.
Noel finds Thybulle short on the 3, and it is Miller, and he is met by Dickerson. Ends up as a held ball, and the possession arrow belongs to Washington. Miller took a shot across the bow.
Thybulle is relentless. I mean, when you say the names that he's passed up again, Jason Kidd and Gary Payton, I have to say this because in college, you really haven't seen 2 like those guys on the defensive end. The shot goes up, they miss. He acts like he's going down the court to play defense, turns right back around, and gets the jump ball, tie up.
And giving them some offense this year as well. Thybulle averaging 11 points last year, down to 9 this year. Yeah, I got the bloody nose. He was clutching at his face there. You figured he had taken some contact. And they'll give him a moment here with the Utah State athletic trainer Carl Smith to try to clean it up. And I think Craig Smith, the head coach, is using example A as, or exhibit A as why it should have been a foul right there.
Yeah, it looks like the head's kind of bumped, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a foul with the arms reaching in for the ball. Some incidental contact right there. He looks like he's ready to go. He says, Coach, don't take me out. Just patch me up.
And Noel comes up short. And look who's got the rebound. Brock Miller with his nose bleeding. Abel Porter. And he is fouled. Jamal Bay, the freshman. Side out Utah State. 5:40 remaining in this first half. This 8-9 matchup. And the higher seed Utah State coming out of the Mountain West. Prolific offensive team. They were 27th in offensive rating this year in the nation. Here's Miller, and he knocks down a three. Dig him up a little bit, and he hits the three.
He has a smooth-looking jump shot, and you know he's going to keep attacking and go at it. He's trying to hold it down to this guy. Merrill can kind of get in it as well and get back to shooting the ball and facilitating for others.
Approaching the 5-minute mark. Utah State within 2 now. Washington with the ball, probing. And a lot of action going inside to Dickerson. Crisp gives it up. Now Thibault gets around Miller, gives it up, and Dickerson with a two-handed flush.
Dickerson having his way, playing in his lane, staying with his role. Roll is part of his role, and also to finish strong inside as the reach looks like it was on Crisp.
First to double digits. Dickerson has 10.
Thibault, he can do it on the defensive end, but did you see this bounce pass driving to the left? Attracts attention from the big shot blocker, plays the offensive decoy and hooks the big fella up.
A couple of assists for Thibault. Noel has 2 assists as well. And Sam Merrill, that was deflected. Utah State ball with 15 on the shot clock. Noel got a piece of that. It's not just Thibault who has the active hands. You've been following Syracuse all these years. You know how relentless they can be defensively. Well, Mike Hopkins coming out of that Boeheim tree. Sam Merrill unable to get it. Dickerson wrestles the rebound down. Carter kicks it. Thibault drives it. Noel gives it back. Good ball movement. Thibault open, knocks it down. A 3-ball for Matisse Thibault.
How about earlier in the game, the first 5 minutes, Washington had a turnover on the exact same play. Washington right now, they're driving to kick. They don't want the pick and roll. They don't want another player in their way. And look who got a steal.
Another steal. Thibault throws it down. Timeout on the floor. Defensive player of the year in the Pac-12. And he is putting his fingerprints on this game big time so far.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Shell Rotella Gas Truck. This is Truck Oil. Pizza Hut, official pizza of March Madness. And by Progressive. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com.
Let's get a look at the Taco Bell first half game summary with 3:58 remaining in this first half, Chris.
Oh, yeah, and you got to give a couple players a lot of love. And let's start off with Noah Dickerson, 4 for 5, 10 points with 6 rebounds. And maybe even more importantly, 3 of those were offensive to go with this block and a steal.
Washington's had 3 good runs. They're currently on a 7-0 run. Had an 11-2 run earlier in this one as well. They lead by 9. Utah State with the ball. They're down. Quinn Taylor looking for Cada. And it's Jamal Bay who knocked it out of his hands. That'll stay in the possession of Utah State. It'll take us to another timeout. 3:44 remaining. 17 on the shot clock for the Aggies when we continue.
I'm Adam Zucker back in New York with Game Zone delivered by Pizza Hut. It is Zion time over on CBS. He's got 6 of their 11, now 12 points in his home state, but like their conference rivals from Virginia, the 1 seed down early. B.A., C-Webb, and Allie LaForce, back to you.
All right, Adam, thanks. Good update there going on CBS. They're saying it's Vinny Shaheed time for North Dakota State. We are here in the 8-9 matchup in Columbus, Ohio. Washington against Utah State. Shot clock ticks to 9. Utah State with Abel Porter at the point guard. And Porter, he's running into a wall. Got to get a shot up. Taylor does get it off in time, but it's one and done, and a rebound ripped down by Dickerson.
The Aggies may want to take some time and wait for Cater on the duck in. He was kind of open both times. Dickerson isn't going to block his shot. Just let him get good position, wait for the duck in.
Dickerson backing his way in and contested by Cater. Utah State ball. Check in with Allie LaForce. Where are you, Allie?
Where am I? I am surrounded by 50 of the most passionate fans that you will ever see. They're the only ones in this arena who have been standing the entire time, probably because they were just sitting on a bus for 32 hours. They came all the way from Utah State. They traveled to every single away game following this team. You guys went through 7 states, 30 hours, 50 of you. Pretty passionate, and most of you don't even drink coffee, right? What got you through it?
True-blooded Aggie spirit, nothing but. We brought the Spectrum Magic tonight. Bring it on, Washington!
True-blooded Aggie spirit. They're going to try to rally their team to make a comeback, guys.
All right, you're going to need a little bit of that, too. That's something, man. 30-plus hours on a bus.
I'm glad Allie did it. I was going to make a comment about it, that there have been more fans here for other teams tonight, but none more excited than those fans up there.
Merrill's got to heave up a prayer, misses everything. Dickerson had the board prior to the violation. Washington is just putting the clamps on Utah State. Just 25 points on the board. This is a prolific offensive team, the Aggies.
Now you're going to see the dribble penetration, looking for a guard to pick up another man and then kind of kick it back out to get a wide open shot.
No look pass across the floor. Hamir Wright on the take. Had it blocked by Cater. And a race for it. And that's going to be Utah State ball.
You have to shoot that ball when your team sets you up for the open. Shoot it right there. Don't go inside to a shot blocker. Get that space, or either pump fake him and get that ball inside. Dickerson.
Amish Cater set a Utah State single season record for blocks in a season. He has 83 now. It had been 59. Just shattered the old mark, and he's a freshman. Porter on the drive. Porter with the left. No, Cater. He's got it, and it's stripped away. And it was Dickerson with the active hands.
Oh, man, what great hands right there. He and Noel right there in the perfect spot.
Good dump off. And the finish by Dickerson. That has been a terrific combo. Noel to Dickerson.
Bet you won't get in his way while he's going up to dunk the ball. Dickerson looked like he's just parting the Red Sea out there. Going strong inside.
And a whistle on Thibault. Don't forget, AT&T at the half coming your way. Scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. And it's all coming up. AT&T at the half. Casey Stern and the gang. Brock Miller busted his nose. Had some nose coming off the blood coming off the top of his nose. Thibault will sit with 2 fouls. Won't see him the rest of the half, you wouldn't think. Sam Merrill, the player of the year of the Mountain West, has not scored. And that one is up and in. Abel Porter, a 42% three-point shooter, knocks it down.
Merrill hasn't scored, but he's definitely trying to keep everyone involved. And now that you have Thibault out, who do you look to go inside and penetrate? Dickerson's a good start. Get the double team and kick it out. The Aggies are double teaming in the post every time. You can draw 2 and kick it out.
Noel with 6 on the shot clock. He's got Justin Bean on him. Bean right with him, and Noel hits a tough jumper on Justin Bean. 11 points for Jalen Noel.
Look for the duck in.
And again, Dickerson, and he forced to travel. Got his hands on the ball. Brito turns it over. Turnover number 12 for Utah State. Some kind of run Washington has been on this year. They have forced double-digit turnovers by their opponents in 25 consecutive games now. Merrill will sit, has not scored. Sam Merrill, who averages 21 plus per game, led the Mountain West in scoring. 0 for 3 for Merrill. Does have a rebound. and a couple of assists, but he's been quiet. Shot clock is off. Chance at the last shot. Carter with 3, with 2, gives it up, and Dickerson is right there for the layup. Count the basket. And a 9-0 Washington run as they go up 12 at the half. And the big man, Noah Dickerson, the senior from Atlanta, 14 points, 8 rebounds.
Noah Dickerson going to work. He can't wait to get to the locker room saying, just give me a little bit of breather. I'm going to work inside. Great job doing the dirty work.
To Allie LaForce.
Coach, a huge pick-me-up for your team in that first half was Dickerson and his dominance. What allowed him in this matchup to be so dominant in that first half?
He's been all year. He's been one of the best big guys in the country. When he's on, he's on. He's playing great right now. Our defense is great. I'm happy for him.
We knew your defense was suffocating, especially with Thibault at the top of it. But how did you take Merrill completely out of that first half?
Just awareness. You know, it's what we have to do. We haven't been doing it lately. They've done a great job on Merrill. We got to continue to do it in the second half. They're a great basketball team. We got to keep our defense up.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks to Mike Hopkins. Noah Dickerson, he is the key to this Washington attack. If he's good, they usually win. If he's bad, they lose. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.